How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review. A little bit of Belgian ale, Belgian style ale time in the form of Iron Hill Brewing. It is their Cannibal Belgian ale. This comes courtesy of Iron Hill. I've actually never had anything from these guys before, but excuse the cows. But they kind of reached out and they're like, "Hey man, dig the reviews. Wondering if you'd like to take a stab at one of our beers." And I said, "Hell yeah!" And I didn't know what they were sending, but they ended up sending this off, and I'm a sucker for Belgian beers, especially if they can get close to what comes out of Europe, so I'm kind of excited to dive into this sucker. It says the Cannibal Belgian Ale on the side here. It says Cannibal is 7.8% alcohol by volume. Breathe easy. The only thing to fear here is that you may never taste another beer as refined as this. Very modest beer. With complex flavors and a finish accented by tropical notes and dry spice, there's a bit more to this Belgian ale than its subtle golden hue suggests. Iron Hill Brewing, distinctive full flavored, handcrafted, and Wilmington, Delaware. I believe they're like more of the old school kind of brew pub style brewery, but the artwork kind of reminds me of old comic book style, and it doesn't suck. I can get down with that. So yeah, let's crack open this sucker, see what they got. Proper glassware. They sent, well, I don't know, Belgian ale, has that proper glassware? I don't know, but we're going to use it anyway. If you send glassware, if it's not super horrific, I will use it. So we have a super filtered, super clean, super clear looking beer right there. I mean, Jesus, good God. You could burn ants at that sumbitch. That's how clear that is. I mean, they're talking about a Belgian golden ale, and that is that to a T. Now, some of the more stronger Belgian golden ales tend to have a little bit of little haze to them. But that clearness is pretty damn sexy. Super carbonation going on. There's some agitators at the bottom. There had to be. I was like, there's no way it's going to be that effervescent. So there's like a weird kind of like a yin-yang kind of etched bottom thing going on in this one that's causing this to have those beautiful cascading bubbles. She's got a stone white as white could be head. And, yeah, she looks the part of, she honestly looks more like Lager Pilsner like. It's just since you have that etched agitator in there, you're getting a bit more of a kind of like a crazy ass bonkers kind of carbonation coming off the bottom. But if it's one thing so far, it is pretty. Let's get a nose. I don't know if this placebo effect, but I'm getting like a soft, like almost like lager vibe on it. Sure, you get a little bit of banana, a little bit of bubblegum. You're getting a little bit of those Belgian kind of yeast esters. But man, it gives you those, nothing too over the top. I mean, there's a soft bitterness on top of it, but I do get a soft like lager funkiness to it. So maybe my mind's kind of skewing me in one direction, but she smells nice. Doesn't smell anything overly crazy, but as far as Belgian beers go, it kind of smells the part. It's not punching you in the face with those classic yeast esters that you typically get from Belgian beer, but she smells the part. Let's dive in. Cheers. Okay. Wow, it's aggressively hopped. Very old school hops, very bittering, slightly herbal. It's not necessarily a bad thing. There is a very genuine Belgian beer underneath this. It does have those banana, slight bubblegummy esters I was talking about in the nose. They're there in spades in the taste, so you definitely get them way bigger in the taste than you do in the nose. But then you get that big pop of bitterness. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's clean. It's crisp. It still reminds me of something that has been lagered. It's almost like a Belgian ale had a baby with a lager and then threw a bunch of hops in it. That's kind of how I'm getting it. Not necessarily that sulfury funky thing is still a little bit there in the taste, but it's more how clean this beer is. How, like this is like eat off the floor kind of clean, kind of super clean. It's fun. I dig it, actually. You know, when they said they were going to send stuff off, you obviously go and kind of look into the brewery if you've never been there before. They're definitely one of those old school, like I said, old school kind of brew pub model chains of breweries. So you never really know what you're going to get from those. Some of them that have been around for quite some time, there can be a little bit of, I don't know, laziness when it comes to the brewing process. Now, is this going to be everybody's cup of tea? I don't think it's going to be everybody's. I mean, the hops are super bittering, very old school. It gives you Belgian vibes aplenty. That's not necessarily today's like hot button beer, but it's a really well-made beer. I mean, it is so clean and so well-made. That in of itself makes me happy. and I actually do dig the taste. Belgian Golden Ale, it's more of a Belgian-style IPA for me. Only because of those Belgian yeast vibes and the aggressive hopping. But one thing I can tell you is it'd be tasty. How old is this? 113. So it's a month and a half old. I don't think that would be a problem for this beer at all. I think this beer would actually last months on the shelf. But yeah, it's tasty. It's delicious. I dig it. I think it's well made. I like it. It's just when you're going into this, I mean, listen. It says Belgian Ale on the can. That's not going to light up any fires in all these new school beer places. But, you know, if you see this on the shelf and you really dig on Belgian beers, and you want to try stuff from a brewery that's trying to do Belgian stuff pretty authentically, this is going to do you, especially if you want a little bit of hop kick with it, because a lot of those Belgian IPAs tend to be a little bit softer in the hop process. This tends to be, while old school, giving you a nice big pop hops on there, and I think that's pretty fun. At least I dig it. So let's talk about it. It was one of the better Belgian ales that I've had as late. American-born, yes. It's in the conversation. It might not be up there, but just it's strict how well made it is and how clean of a beer it is alone just kind of makes my wiener a little bit hard. So that in of itself is a delicious thing. Value and availability, no idea. It was sent to me. And leave you with, if you like what, will you like this beer? If you like Belgian beers, you like old school IPAs, you wish there was a little bit of a notch between those two. That's kind of what you're getting here. But if you also love yourself some lager, you're getting that uber cleanliness of a lager with those Belgian vibes on top of that cool, funky, old school bittering hop. I'm a fan. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing a podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little Belgian-inspired beer right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.